9 says a firm establishes that the price elasticity of supply of its product has a value of 0.3. So they cannot quickly increase the supply if the price increases. That's sad. So what is likely to be true about the firm? Not A, because if you have unused productive capacity and the price increases, then your price elasticity of supply would be high because you would quickly produce more. B says it has unsold stock of its product. No, that would be a high. That would be an elastic supply. If you have unsold stock and the price increases, you sell the unsold stock. So not B. C says it uses a high proportion of perishable raw materials. Yes, probably. Maybe that's why. What is likely to be true? That's likely to be true, and that keeps their price elasticity of supply low. They cannot quickly increase the supply if the price increases. D says it uses factors of production that are easily substituted. But if this were true, the price elasticity of supply would be much higher than 0.3. So answer for 9 must be C. 10. Oh, good, it's a graph. There's a reduction in world oil supplies due to war in some supplying countries at a time when the winter in some importing countries was much colder. So that increases the demand for coal. You use coal to heat, or oil, coal and oil. And there was a reduction in the world oil supplies due to war in some supplying countries. So there's two things. And what's the result? Let's see. D goes to, increase in demand. And, the answers are down here. Okay. Let's see. Supply will go from S to S1, maybe, and demand increases to D1. So price would be P4. So the equilibrium price is P4. They didn't tell us. They didn't tell us that S is equilibrium, or did they? Yes. S is equilibrium and D is equilibrium. So the answer for 10 must be D. Just the usual shift. And 11 is good X is a substitute for good Y and a complement to good Z. Oh, okay. Let's see. What would happen after a fall in the price of good X? Let's see. Fall in the price of good X. Good X. Good X is a substitute for good Y. Demand for Y. Fall for Y. Demand for Y will fall. So let's see. Good X is a fall in the price of... This is not true. It will affect the complements and substitutes. B says demand for X, Y, and Z will rise. That cannot be true. Good Y, the demand for good Y will fall, yes, and for Z will rise. Demand for good Y will fall because good Y is a substitute for X, but the price of X fell. So some people who bought Y, now they'll buy X. And Z is a complement, so lower prices for X, more demand for Z. So C is the answer for 11.